All right, what's going on, guys? So today I'm working on the Accord, and I got a couple of interior goodies that I want to install. So first things first, I picked up some Acuity shifter base bushings, and basically these replace the stock bushings at the bottom of the shifter unit at the bottom here. I've heard a lot of good things about these bushings, and basically what it does is as you're shifting, you may notice a soft, spongy feel when you get into gear. So as I get into gear like this, I can see there's a bit of a spongy feel. And essentially, this stiffens that feel. So as you're going into gear, it feels a lot more direct, a lot more firm. Honestly, it's not going to be a huge performance increase. It's more of a improvement to the shifter feel. And that's kind of what I wanted to do. Hondas make great shifters, but that doesn't mean it can't be improved further. So I figured, why not just give this a try? It's a pretty simple install, and it's a fairly cheap mod as well. I think it was just what, less than 50 bucks for this, 40 bucks Canadian. So yeah. And the second mod I got was a new shift knob. I picked up a custom made the weight to it is okay. I would say it's just slightly heavier than OEM, so it's not too heavy. Yeah, it's a nice shape and feel. Pause. But yeah, I figured, I replaced the OEM one. As you can see, my OEM one has a bit of peeling. I did paint over it, but still, I think this one will look pretty good. All right, so let's get started. First things first, you want to remove your factory shift knob. So next, you want to get a trim removal tool, and you want to pry these two trim pieces off. So you just got to get here in the corner. All right, so once you get this back piece up, you can just go ahead and lift. All right, just like that. All right, so next you want to remove these two screws here. They're a Phillip head screw, and that will remove this whole unit. And then once you get the screws out, you can pull this unit out. And then there's going to be, I think, one wire connection here. Just got to unclip that. And unclip this wire here. Just like that. Alright, so next you can then open up the compartment here. And you're going to get a prying tool and pry up this area here. So you're going to get under here, and there's a couple of clips. And then you should be able to pop this whole thing off. Just like that. And then just pull up. Alright, so this top piece, the center console or whatever, is lifted up now. There's going to be a couple of wires underneath that we have to disconnect. So there's a wire back here, the heated seats wire here connection. There's one on the other side. Okay. And then there's also one here for the cigarette lighter. So we just want to disconnect that. Well, you can actually just put this aside. All right, so now we have complete access to the shifter base. And yeah, so basically what we're replacing are these 4 bolts over here and replacing it with these new base bushings, the Acuity ones. Alright, so one last try before I install it, so that way I can really see the difference. Yeah, so like this, it feels good, but you can see that there is a bit of softness when you actually connect into the gears. So yeah, let's compare it to these stiffer bushings. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and remove these 4 bolts here. It's a 10mm. Alright, so you're technically supposed to remove this whole area here, this whole center console, but I'm being a bit lazy. I'm going to see if I can try to get this out without removing all of this. So basically get yourself a screwdriver and just this metal piece here, you kind of want to like push it down or push it up to remove it. Yeah, just like that. Okay. Alright, so this is what the metal bushing looks like. You want to remove this from each one of these grommets, and then you can pull out the rubber grommets afterwards. Alright, and then remove the rubber grommet here, the rubber bushing. Alright, so all 4 of the rubber bushings have been removed. That wasn't too bad. Alright, so next up, we now have to install the Acuity base bushings. Should be pretty straightforward. Alright, so the install is pretty straightforward. Get yourself the bottom of the base bushing, the top of the base bushing, and one of the screws. So the bottom one slides right under, like so, and then you put the top one, and then you get your screw. Don't lose your screw. And you grab the screw and then you slide it through. Just like that. Alright. Alright, my GoPro keeps overheating on me, but basically you just get the lower base, put it underneath, you get the upper bushing, put it on top, and then you get the screw and you put it through the hole just like that, and then go ahead and just tighten it. And you're going to do that for all 4. And then the torque specs is 6.9 foot-pounds. Alright, so once you have all 4 bushings in, go ahead and tighten all 4 down in a crisscross pattern. Alright, so go ahead and grab your torque wrench. So I'm going to torque it to 10 foot-pounds because I don't have a torque wrench that goes down to 6.9. Alright, so everything's been torqued down. let's go ahead and put the stock shift knob on for now, just to test it out. Let's see if it makes a big difference. All right, moment of truth. Okay. It's not a huge difference, but it definitely feels less soft as you're going into a gear. To be honest with you, I feel like this feels a lot similar to the SI shifter now. Like, it feels a lot sturdier going into gear. The gears feel a lot like firm, more direct. It feels good. Not bad. Not bad for like what, a $40 upgrade. It feels less like a casual car and feels more like a, I would say an SI would be the closest to comparison. Yeah, so basically just go ahead and double check that everything's tight, and then yeah, just reinstall the center console in reverse order, and then yeah, you're good to go. I will show you so this is the new shift knob. It's a countersunk knob. Oh yeah, that feels good. Less movement for sure. This fits the palm of my hand pretty nicely, so not bad at all. Alright, so yeah, this is how the car looks with the countersunk shift knob and with the new Acuity bushings. First impressions, honestly, it's not bad. Like, you can actually feel the difference. It's not a significant difference, but it's enough to notice. The shifts definitely feel more direct and less soft, if that makes sense. Like, as you're going into the gear, it doesn't feel like there's a cushion at the end of it. Honestly, it's hard to describe exactly what the feeling is without you experiencing it firsthand. But for $40, I can honestly say that the upgrade is worth it. It's a super easy install, and you do get an improvement to your shifting feel, and I think that alone is worth it. For 40 bucks Canadian, not bad at all. But Acuity in general, they just make really good products, and I'm glad they even made a product for the 9th gen Accord. Not many people do. It's not really a car that you see people modding. I generally just wanted to improve the shifter feel, and as I said before, the shifter now feels pretty close to what an SI shifter feels like. If you ever drove a 9th gen SI, I would say this is pretty comparable to it now in this state. But yeah, I do like the countersunk shift knob. It does sit a bit lower, so it makes your throws feel a bit shorter, which is nice. I personally like that, but I know it's not everyone's thing, but that's personally what I like. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions regarding the install. Thanks.